Think back to your first experience with gaming. Many people, including myself, might think of the Call of Duty Golden Age. Grinding levels in multiplayer to earn new guns and equipment to use in new ways to goof around with your friends. Only to prestige and reset all your progress, do it all over again. There were no other senses of progression. The only dopamine hits we could get from gaming was the level up prompt on our screens. Jump back to today. Look around you at all the popular games of the modern day. The feeling of progression comes in lots of different forms. The big difference now is the progression is monetized. Battle passes have transformed that dopamine hit of leveling up into virtual cocaine. Now when you level up, it's not just a gun you get, but rather some cosmetic item you can show off to your friends to establish dominance upon them. They can feel your aura radiating through the screen because of the $10 you spent to get that Black Knight skin. It seems that the feeling of free-to-play progression is lost in most games. It's affected a majority of multiplayer games. Battle passes have revolutionized how monetization works in games. They've also had their fair share of side effects as well. The way content is released and how often it's released has changed too. But where did all of this start? The idea of the Battle Pass was first implemented in a game called Dota 2. Dota had a very big competitive scene, and to fund one of its annual tournaments in 2013, Valve introduced the Compendium, which allowed players to earn a variety of unique in-game content. 25% of the proceeds earned from the Compendium would go to the tournament's prize pool. The Compendium provided an innovative way for players to interact with the tournament and keep up with current events. In 2015, Valve introduced the first official Battle Pass. The Battle Pass was a more expanded upon version of the Compendium. This became a huge success for Valve. The Battle Pass generated over $16 million for the 2015 Dota International. The Battle Pass affected Dota both positively and negatively. Here we see the monetization of FOMO occurring. FOMO, for those who don't know, rhyme, kinda cool, means fear of missing out. Battle Passes were not a permanent event, only lasting 3 months, meaning the content obtained from the Battle Passes needed to be earned before it expired. This annoyed certain Dota players since it pressured them to play the game instead of incentivizing them. This is where I draw a lot of frustration from Battle Passes. I currently have purchased 3 different Battle Passes at the time of writing this. One for Destiny 2, one for Overwatch, and one for Marvel Rivals. You may say this is a terrible financial decision, and you're right. That's why I'm writing a YouTube video script and not studying finance. But that's besides the point. I'm now between a rock and a hard place. Do I either grind out all 3 games to maximize my $10 purchase, or do I play the games I actually feel like playing instead of 3 games I enjoyed but then dropped? Either way, some guilt will find its way to me. This all could have been prevented if I was careful with my money and decided not to act impulsively. But the fact that these predatory practices are allowed shocks me. What about those who aren't mature enough to not act impulsively like myself? For example, take a kid whose mom just let him spend some money on his PlayStation for his birthday. This kid really loves Fortnite, and what do you know? They just put Homer Simpson in the Fortnite Battle Pass. He rushes to input his mother's credit card information and purchases the Battle Pass without a skip in his heartbeat. But as that purchase loads in, his 11-year-old eyes see that Call of Duty just collabed with Squid Games? Now he has to buy this new Battle Pass. Now, the kid doesn't have enough time to finish both the Battle Passes, but at least he can focus on one and spend all of his time playing that game. Companies know this happens too much to count, which is why everything monetized is timed. Both games in this scenario win here, but also, now he's locked into spending a bunch of time finishing at least one Battle Pass, so the mega corporation wins even more! Yay! These situations aren't as specific as you really think they are. Just search up videos about kids spending hundreds of dollars in V-Bucks from their parents' credit cards. It happens a lot. Monetization isn't the only way Battle Passes ruin games. They change the way content is released too. I briefly mentioned Destiny 2 before, and I'd like to return to it. Destiny 2 is an MMO FPS game where you eradicate all kinds of space creatures and machines. Destiny has usually had the content cycle of releasing one big annual expansion, but in the more recent years of Destiny, the content cycle has shifted into more seasonal content. There still was an overarching annual expansion, but now there are smaller seasons during the year. After 2019, each season started containing battle passes with exclusive content. This shifted the way the story was released for Destiny into small chunks every season. It's obvious to say that this is a big change from the annual expansion method that was prevalent in Destiny 1. Most of the seasons weren't received well, which led to the eventual change from seasons to episodes in 2024. Episodes were essentially a rebranded version of seasons, but now the content is cut to even smaller chunks with 3 acts per episode. The story content being divided kills momentum. You can't expect players to care about stakes that were presented 2 weeks ago when Act 1 dropped. In between that time, players have been distracted with the other drip-fed content Bungie has released, so they've forgotten what's happened already. I do have to admit, Episode Heresy has had a very good story, but I still stand by the fact that it would have been much better without the episode structure. FOMO is ever more prevalent in Destiny since Bungie has decided to take away older content, which they called sunsetting. Sunsetting showed players that no matter what they own, you can still lose it. I'm sure Bungie and Ubisoft would be really good friends. So if we don't truly own anything, will the fear of missing out ever go away? Even if we obtain the content from the Battle Pass, how can we be ensured that it's exclusive to us as players? Writing this video has been a way for me to vent my frustrations about my own financial mishaps, but it should also be a wake-up call. Companies should not be allowed to monetize the foundational systems of gaming. Progression shouldn't feel locked behind a price tag and certainly shouldn't be a limited time thing. What's important is that we as gamers should reject this idea and not normalize it. It's hard to get your voices heard from the CEOs of megacorps. The only way we can is by hurting their pockets. Stop falling for the same bullshit gimmick of a battle pass. Do you really want that skin, or is it just the time limit pressuring you into buying the battle pass? Think before you act. Who am I kidding? We're all gonna buy the next battle pass we see.